It's Friday, November 22nd. I am Geoff Schwartz. That is Matt for this Geoff Schwartz of Smart. You were sponsored by Greg Morris Cards. Week two, they're back for more, Matt. We have a QR code if you're watching this on YouTube or on Twitter or on any social media platform. We have a QR code for you guys. Just scan the QR code. Takes you to Greg Morris Cards. We'll talk about them a little bit later as well and throughout the show, Matt. And we got some good luck because Greg joined the show and we had been a little bit down with our wagers, Matt. As we do every Friday, we'll give you all 5 wagers for the weekend. We were 3-2 last weekend. And it is so different betting on college football than the NFL because college football, it's a win or loss, no sweat. You either win or you lose for the most part. Every NFL game is the worst experience of my life wagering on them. We had the Steelers who kicked 6 field goals to cover for us. The
Yes.
Chargers who were up 27-6 and needed some shenanigans to get home. If you had the Chargers last night, by the way, and the Brown Steelers, I hated the under, Matt. I had under 39. It closed 36.5. There were 16 points scored in the first 3 quarters. There were 27 points scored in the fourth quarter, Matt, in a blizzard to go over. So the NFL, tough to gamble on. What's not tough is having Greg Morris Cards as part of our show. There's the QR code, so go scan that. We'll talk about them more in a little bit, Matt. How was your weekend? It hopefully was as good as our wagers.
Yeah, man. I would say it was about as good as our wagers, as you can probably tell from my voice. Kid is sick. I'm a little sick.
Welcome to the party, buddy.
It's just been Sam, our producer, can tell you. It's just like every week I'm like, hey, I need a sick day. Like I'm sick again. Like it was like a week. Then we had a few days where we were good, and now we're back. And
Yeah,
so
but I
this
mean,
is
how often is Gabe in the office? You can take a day off. It's okay.
yeah. Well, his kids are 6 and 3 or 4 now. So he's through that. You're through that.
Yeah,
I'm in the middle of it. So apologies for how my voice sounds,
that's
but
okay.
excited to be here. I mean, maybe we start with last night's game. It turned out to be a classic game. I think if we had taped the podcast before that, we certainly would have been on the right side, right?
Oh,
Like we
it would have been
definitely would
Browns.
have. We loved
Absolutely.
Cleveland
Yes.
plus 3.5.
Oh, absolutely.
What'd you take away from last night?
The voodoo magic of the Steelers ended for one night. I mean, they weren't better for 3 quarters, then played better in the fourth quarter, but ended up losing the game anyway. I mean, they were due for a loss like this, I feel like, right? I mean, they're just man, they're just every game is the same for the Steelers. And every Steeler fan told you, if you follow them on social media, they're going to lose that game. Like everyone knew they're going to lose that game. Not a great spot to be in when you're a team as good as Pittsburgh. And it's like, yeah, we're going to lose that game, Matt. The Browns can win any game because they have good football players. They just don't. I mean, every game we're on them, they lose. Every time we're not on them, they win. It's very frustrating. But I took a Browns over 3.5, which I think I told you guys own over 3.5 wins a couple weeks ago. I need one more win to cash that. So I feel good about that. I'm going to lose some of my Steelers futures. It is what it is. I thought they'd be poor this year. Any takeaway for you from this game?
Yeah, I think for whatever reason, I feel like it's just so easy to track the Steelers as a better. Like that was just a classic short week. They've been hot. They're road favorites.
Yep.
It's the AFC North. There's, the weather was a surprise, but it was just a classic to take the other side of the Steelers game. I did think that I was impressed with Cleveland's just like dedication from their fans to their team not giving up, even though they're 2-8. They could have given that game away a couple of times, but they didn't. So, respect to them, respect to their coaching staff for running through the tape in a mostly lost
Yeah.
season.
Yeah. It was a rivalry game, short week as well. Tomlin, by the way, is really, really bad on short weeks, which is kind of crazy. That it's good of a coach he is. He's not good in those moments. You're right, Matt. Six
Well,
teams on a bye. Oh, go ahead. Do you have more?
there's
To
one
say?
more piece of news we have to talk about, which is
Oh,
Daniel
yeah.
Jones getting released today. And you actually weighed in on a Twitter conversation that I should have pulled up, but I didn't. But was an
No,
interesting one, which
I
is
tweeted this as well, so I'm in the same boat.
yeah. So I'm curious. I mean, it seems like the release was a bit of a surprise to at least to the fans. I don't think it was that surprising given that he was playing safety in the scout team two
Okay,
days ago.
that by the way, very quickly, during walkthrough, which is what the media sees this time of year, the backups play scout team. Like that's not like a big newsworthy thing. Like that happens all the time. Just FYI. Like out of all the things, Daniel Jones, that's like the least newsworthy thing. But okay, so continue. Just want to make that.
Okay, well, that's interesting because that got a lot of pop. I wonder if that was sort of somebody leaking that to sort of precipitate the news. But I mean, I kind of, I mean, maybe it's because every time he played my team, he seemed to beat them. But like, I don't think this guy is totally washed. And I feel like, we saw it happen with Sam Darnold. We saw it with Jameis Winston last night. Like maybe if he goes to the right situation, he could potentially revive his career. Are you in the same boat as me there?
No, I'm not. Um, I'm of the opinion, well, also too, the people that I think have terrible football prediction minds that always get things wrong are like, yep, next Baker Mayfield. I'm like, you think you said every quarterback is good, and that quarterback ends up being bad. So I don't trust your opinion on this anymore. So like that's part of it as well. Like the same people that are always that do this every year. This gotta be this big. There's only one Baker Mayfield. There's only one sort of Ryan Tannehill, one Geno Smith. Like it happens
Yeah.
every couple of years. It's not Daniel Jones, in my opinion. We're doing it right now with Sam Darnold. Like he's the guy in this moment. Who is that guy right now? So I don't think it's Daniel Jones. The question is, what does he do? Right? Does he go to a contender, which is what I would do, and sit behind Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, like somewhere that has a chance to win and suck up all the information with a good offense, and then hope you get in week 18, or you get a blowout and you get a drive or two here and there. I would not go play for Dallas or go play for the Raiders. I wouldn't do any of those things.
No. No, it would be funny if he signed with Dallas.
And play in
If he signs
Thanksgiving.
with Dallas and plays on Thanksgiving, you remember in Anchorman when they're doing the gang war and they look over and Brick is on the other side, like laughing with
Yes.
the wrong team, and everyone's
Yes.
like, "Get Brick, get back over here." That's what I thought of if Daniel Jones were to leave. I It's funny again. I thought of my team. I thought maybe he's a good backup for Jaden Daniels
But
potentially.
Mariota's there though. You're not
Yeah,
going to get
but
rid of him.
Mariota, I mean, sorry, Mariota's your guy, but I mean, with respect to Mariota, could be a nice system for him. I feel like being a backup on a decent team, Buffalo's
Yeah,
a good
not.
one.
I don't think he's better than Mariota this year.
Wow, dang, that is a damning opinion
Mariota
there.
like had multiple years in the playoffs, didn't he?
So did Daniel Jones, didn't he?
he had 1 year in the playoffs, one
Yeah,
playoff
he won a
season.
playoff game that cost me a lot of money.
He
I
did.
remember it well.
Really? You took the Vikings in that game?
Yeah,
Oh, I
Daniel
didn't.
Jones in the playoffs. What are we doing?
Kirk Cousins in the playoffs. What are we doing?
Yeah, fair
Um,
enough.
all right, Matt. So 6 teams on a bye, one game already down. This is a week that we're going to have a lot of discussion because there are 7 road favorites and multiple road favorites by over a field goal. And we can't bet on all of them because, like, the Raiders are unwagerable. We're not betting on the wagers. The Raiders. I don't care what you say. We're not taking the Raiders at home this weekend. I don't care. I don't care what argument you
I'm
have.
fine with this.
Okay.
Let's
So
save
we're
time.
gonna so we're gonna take some road favorites. I have a feeling. I
I
don't know
we
which ones,
Yeah.
and that's gonna be the fun debate because there's a couple home favorites, home dogs we like already. So let's start it off. Let's see how we get to our 5 wagers for this weekend.
I so wish we could have taken the Browns, but we didn't. So let's start with the game you're going to, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken. The Kansas City Chiefs at the
I
Carolina
am.
Panthers. We're seeing 10.5 now, pretty
Yeah.
much everywhere, for the Chiefs on the road. Is this going to be one of our five?
I don't. I'm not going to sit in the stands hoping the Panthers cover this game. I'll tell you that. Um, I think if the Chiefs
Fair enough, dude.
if the Chiefs won this game, won last weekend, this would be a Panthers play. I think you have to play like even on the money line. But since they lost, I feel less comfortable with that, Matt. How about this story? You'll appreciate this. You met my kids one time, so
Yes.
what they're like. I've talked about a lot. So I'm going with just my son this weekend. And I told them we're getting sideline passes, which we are. Thank you, Trey Smith, for hooking that up.
Nice.
And I told them that like I know Taylor Swift's boyfriend. That's how Travis Kelce goes by in our family because my daughter says all the time, like, "Where's Taylor Swift's boyfriend?" And watch Chiefs games. I point out 87. Okay, so that's Travis crossed the bear. I think he's okay with that. So I said to them, "Hey guys, I mean, I know Travis Kelce. I know Taylor Swift's boyfriend. He might come over and say hi to me." They were flabbergasted, absolutely flabbergasted that I might know Travis Kelce. I played with Travis for a year. No, we're not best friends. I don't text him and talk to him, but he played with my brother for 5 years. I've seen him out at certain things. We talk, we say hi. Not like we have a 10-minute conversation, Matt, but like we're acquaintances. I like him. I think he likes my family, he likes my brother, likes me. And so we might say hi to each other. And my daughter was like, "What's he gonna call you?" I go, "Oh, Schwartzy." Like, I don't, she's like, "Wait, why not Geoff?" I go, "Everyone calls me Schwartz. I don't even want to tell you." So I was called for a locker room since I was in high school. My son did say, he's gonna think you're fatter now than you were when you played. I said, thank you, son, for that. But so yeah, I might
Amazing story.
this is going to be a big dad win for me if I can get
Huge dad
if
win.
I can get a photo with my son and Travis Kelsey. So we'll see how it goes on Sunday.
I gotta be honest, Jeff. I don't feel like we have talked a lot about your relationship with Travis Kelsey, like on this show. Like
Well, I
he's
don't
become this
well, I don't
massively
know.
famous
I mean,
person.
I don't really know. I mean, I played a year with him. When I see him, which hasn't been in like 3 years, 2 years, like we say hi to each other for how you doing, like what's for like 2 3 minutes. That's it. It's not like we have like a great relationship. I've seen Jason more than him recently at events and stuff, like in Super Bowl stuff. But like, yeah, I played with Travis for a year, and my brother played with him for 5 seasons.
I mean, yeah, it's also like a small fraternity, right? Like people know each other. I saw Jason
Yeah.
at a donut shop down the street a few weeks
Oh,
ago.
he did you see the late night show that they announced he's doing?
Yeah, good for him. That'll be interesting.
I'm it's interesting because I'm interested in that. I'm curious. I like Jason a lot. That's a different task, like
Yes, it
job,
is.
than doing the podcast and be on ES on live. Um, so hopefully he's got good producers. They're
Yeah,
very important.
we know he has a good agent. Let's give that
Oh
person a shout
no.
out.
Oh yeah. Oh, do you know his agent? Is that like a friend of yours? Do you know?
No, no, I don't.
Oh, oh, I'm
But
curious.
they're
Now I'm
they're
curious
doing
who it
very
is.
well.
I
Uh,
hope it's someone that that's I'm gonna I'm gonna
you're
look it
looking
up.
it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Well,
look it up. But nonetheless, so no Panthers, no Panthers in this game.
yeah,
Oh,
pass.
Clarity. Oh, I think this is NFL agent Clarity Sports. I've never heard of them before.
Good for them.
Jason Bernstein.
Well, shout out to the Jason duo for giving Jason Kelsey a really nice post playing career. All right, no Panthers. Who do you think covers? Just curious, without putting
Um,
it in.
I mean probably the Panthers.
Yeah, I think so too. It's a
Yeah,
tough week for the Chiefs. This is a tough team to go against after
yeah.
your first loss. It's on the road. It won't be very bit, packed there.
A lot of Chiefs
They'll get
fans
it
will be
done.
there though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. At least three of them. Uh, all right, Vikings at Bears.
Oh, geez.
Interesting game here. The Bears are 3.5 point home dogs. The Vikings are a really interesting team. I feel like we keep like we made some money on them last week. We lost some money on them the week before. I don't really know where I stand on this team, but I do have a lean in this game. I'm curious if you do.
Hmm. Okay, so third straight road game for the Vikings, Matt.
Yep.
Um, they have almost progressively gotten worse on offense with the mistakes they keep making. And Darnold is making those mistakes at a high level now. It's sort of getting back to what Sam Darnold is. The Bears were a little bit better last week. I think they used Caleb Williams' legs. They absolutely don't know how to finish games because they have a terrible head coach. I mean, it's got to be Bears or nothing, right? I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
how else to play this. I don't feel great about it, but we have to put it as a maybe. I'm not sure there's many picks we're going to lock in immediately when we talk about these games, but the Bears have to be a maybe, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the Bears are actually pretty good in the NFC North, 4-1 in their last five in the division, which is surprising given how good that division is.
Yeah.
Uh, I think Caleb looked a lot better, like you said. Different offensive coordinator, freed him up. He seemed to just be a little bit more comfortable. Like the ball was getting out quicker. He was running. I don't know. This is basically playing the number. Again, you mentioned the schedule quirk with Minnesota. This is sort of sat at 3 all week. I guess that somebody came in and pounded the Vikings and moved it closer in the Bears direction. So I don't mind getting the hook here. We're getting a good number. Um, but it's also the Bears after a crushing loss last week and a crushing loss a few weeks ago. Like they're a tough team to bet on, but I think we have to consider it.
Yeah. I think they're in the firm maybe category.
Yeah. All right. Well, here's one that, oh God, maybe it will be in the maybe category. The Cowboys plus 11 actually
Jeez.
now at the Washington Commanders. Uh, don't love the Commanders laying double digits right now, but don't love the Cowboys either. What do you think?
So I like Brian Robinson over his rushing prop of 72 and a half.
That's a
The
very good bet.
Cowboys allow a ton of now the only problem is, if he gets 12 carries because they're like Saquon did against the Cowboys because they're winning by so much. Um, Look, I took the Eagles. I took the Texans just blindly the last two games against Dallas. I didn't care that they were later in seven. 11's a little different for the Commanders team that hasn't played as well the last couple of weeks, Matt. I think this is just a stay away game. I'm not taking him with Dallas either. So I think it's a stay away. Bet Eckler's number I think is a little bit high for a backup. It's 24 and a half. Jaden Daniels rushes. I would bet all the rushing props I can in this game.
Yeah. I think Washington is going to come out smoking hot. Uh, they finally got a bit of a break. Jaden should hopefully be a little bit healthier. I think they're going to make a little bit of a statement early and then, kind of just coast the rest of the game. So I don't know if they close if they win by more than 11, but I don't know. You can't really take a side in this one. Uh, all right, next game, the Patriots at the Dolphins. The Dolphins laying 7. This is a real test for the Drake May truthers out there who are saying this guy is like Boston fans are like out of their minds on this guy. He looks pretty good.
He's playing better than I think people thought because he started slow in training camp.
Yeah, that's right. And he came in a little bit late, but he's the third best rookie quarterback right now at best. So congratulations.
Okay, well, who's fourth, by the way? It's Caleb Williams, right?
I think for now, yeah. I don't think I would have switched. I don't know. I think they would have gone in the same order. I think Nick's just
Oh, I think so
higher.
too. I just think Nick's in a good situation.
Yeah.
Daniels has special talent. Drake May just has no one around him, so the bar's a little bit lower. Caleb Williams just has everything around him. That's why the bar is so high.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And right, everyone was like, no one's ever been drafted in a better situation. It's
Yeah.
it's hard to be a quarterback, and he's still
Correct.
Matt Eberflus. Okay, so back to the Dolphins here and the Patriots. I mean, what do you do here? Like the Patriots suck in Miami. They have forever. The Dolphins have this is their second straight week where they're huge favorites despite being terrible. It's like I guess you would take New England, but I don't love
Well,
that.
the Dolphins are actually since Tua's been back, they're scoring like touchdowns on an insane amount of drives, Matt. Oh boy. I mean, I would lean Dolphins, but I mean, I just no,
Yeah.
no, I guess no is the right answer. Just nothing. I don't know what I can't I just can't do the Dolphins here. I don't think. But the Patriots in this spot. This feels like 34-10. It's like, well, now Drake May comes back down to earth type of game.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't know, man. I guess if Miami's like our fifth, I guess I would consider it, but it's not. It's very dicey. I mean, the one thing that New England is potentially good at is, their secondary. So that I don't know. This just screams stay away to me. I feel like one side is this one's gonna look very obvious like by the second quarter, I think. And it's either be a Dolphins blowout or the Patriots are up like,
Yeah.
20
Yeah. I
to
mean,
3.
yeah. I had the Raiders last weekend just on my own. Oh my God. Jeez. I mean,
Yeah,
they were in it and then they just weren't. It was so frustrating.
they're a dead team, man. They're in really rough shape. Speaking of rough shape, the Tennessee Titans at the
Jeez.
Texans. Titans plus 8.5,
Oh,
Geoff. I mean, if we're taking a side, we're holding our nose and we're taking Tennessee here.
I know we are. It's got to be a maybe, doesn't it?
I think it has to be.
What is it?
Tennessee,
8.5 now? Jeez.
8.5. Tennessee, 1-9 against the spread this year. Unbelievable. Like, this is a historic start to the season. Like, the other two worst teams against the spread, one of them's Dallas, and I forget who the other is. It's another, like, very public team. It might be Kansas City. But for a team, like, that's not how this is supposed to work. Like, you're supposed to be around 500. The Jets are 3-8. So the two most disappointing teams in Tennessee is actually worse than them. Uh, I don't mind Tennessee here. Houston's looked really shaky lately. They're not great as favorites. Um, it's like at some point this is just going to have to reverse, even though
Yeah.
we'd have to play Will Levis.
Yeah, I know. Will Levis has been, I thought we wrote off the Titans. We said, no more Titans, Matt. Um,
Ugh.
all right. Well, I put in the maybes. We only got two maybes right now, buddy. We don't got a lot to work with.
No, I know is Miami in our maybes or are we or not?
I think no, but we can
Okay,
put it. I mean, just because we
they're in
had
our
nothing
soft
else,
maybes,
soft
our
maybe.
softest
Okay,
maybes.
softest maybe.
All right. I think we're gonna get there on this one. The Lions are seven and a
Yeah, this.
half point favorites in Indy. I think this is one where we're gonna have to take
Yeah,
the
I put it.
Colts.
I put it in the yes category already. All right. So I guess the thought is here, Matt. you got a freight train with the Lions. They're playing so well right now. We say this every week. Like, there's no way they can keep this up. I mean, yeah, no, you're right. There shouldn't be a way. And they keep doing it, right? Which is kind of wild. But they've lost like half their defensive starters now to injury, Matt. Eventually, that has to play a role, right? Eventually, it does have to play a role. And I am concerned about that on the road against the Colts. Anthony Richardson is high variance, right? Really high, really low, but he provides an offensive spark that you don't get with Joe Flacco. So it gives you a little bit more juice. We get the hook here at 7.5. I have a feeling this number comes down before kickoff. It's going to be a favorite sharp play for everyone. We took the Colts. Remember the season when the Steelers were 3-0 and we liked them in that spot. They won. The Colts ended up winning that game. The Colts have covered 2 games. We've taken them at home. Houston week 1, and I think it was week 4 with Pittsburgh. I'll go back to well here. Give me Colts plus 7.5. I look, it's hard to jump in front of that in that freight train, but I don't. It means it has to be the week to do it.
Yeah, it is. This is a game between the two best teams against the spread this week. The Lions and the Colts. The Colts,
Yeah,
other than the Bills game, where they lost at home by 10, noteworthy potentially. Every other game that they've played has been a one possession game. They lost the Vikings by 8, but everything else was, they beat the Steelers by 3. They lost the Jags by 3. They beat Titans by 3, Dolphins by
yeah,
6. Like every game is close. Every game is a little bit strange. It's also like the Lions are this really, incredible team that runs through the tape. I'm not sure that after last week they're going to be like super up for winning by 50 again. Maybe they will be.
yeah.
But I think this is one where you just say like, okay, we'll see. We'll take our chances.
I agree.
So let's take the Colts plus 7.5.
All right, let's do it.
Um, all right, moving on to the Buccaneers against Tommy DeVito's Giants. The Bucks are 6-point road favorites off of the bye in New York. Man, this one feels like Russian roulette, dude, because it's like on one hand the Bucks have a ton to play for, uh, but I'm just not sure what's going to
Yeah.
happen with this new quarterback shift.
All right. So I like the Bucks in this game, Matt.
Okay, talk to me.
And here's the reason why. So first of all, there's no Tommy DeVito bump. Okay. Like there's no bump. He's not good. He's not good. Okay. And now Malik Neighbors didn't practice today. So they might
Ooh,
have Malik Neighbors. Their offensive line, we know, is not very good. They can run the football okay, but against Tampa's defense, is that really what you want to do? Just run the football all day? On the other side, Tampa Bay has lost 4 in a row. Okay. The 4 they lost were the Ravens by 10. They lost to the Falcons by less than a score, the Chiefs by less than a score, the Niners by less than a score. So 4 really tough games, Matt, against 4 playoff caliber teams, right? Niners, I don't know what the playoffs, but a good football team. Niners are off a bye in that game. And we talked about we took the Niners in that game because of the reasons, short week, all those things. Now Tampa Bay gets a break, a bye. They come back and play a bad Giants football team on the road. They haven't played a bad team in months, Matt. Mike Evans, probably back for them. That boosts their offense a little bit. Yeah, they have a left tackle problem. I think Wirfs is out. That does worry me. But out of all the road favorites, Matt, this weekend, this is the one I like the most. There's when Tommy DeVito was 3-3 last year, the 3 games he won, the Giants had their best defensive output all season. The Giants, to me, just aren't a very talented team. Tampa needs this win, and I like good teams off a bye, man. Like they're going to be refreshed. They're going to feel, again, a must-win situation. So I like Tampa -6 here. It's the one road favorite I like to cover this weekend.
yeah, Giants off by 2 for what that's worth, which is probably nothing. Um, Baker Mayfield, oddly, he's been a 6-point or more road favorite 2 other times. Both of them were games at the Meadowlands,
Really?
at Jets and at Giants. He split them. He won the Giants game and covered. Um, that's just kind of strange. I look, the Giants seem to be packing it in a little bit, and I think the way they handled this Daniel Jones thing, they could have had the chance to play Drew Lock. They didn't, because of some quirks in his contract. From my understanding of the situation, I don't know if you have any more color there.
Well, good buddy Chris Felicato, the Bear Bets podcast, said the Giants went with Tommy DeVito because the fans like him. If you're going to lose, at least have someone the fans like playing quarterback.
That's an interesting take. So I think they know what's going on here. I think that the Bill Belichick phone call has already been made for the next season. So and Malik Neighbors, it's like why play this guy in a lost season? So all of those reasons, the Bucks have a lot to play for. The Falcons are terrible. I feel like they have a chance to sneak up a game on them here. So I don't mind this one. I hadn't circled this one, but now that we've talked
Yeah,
about it, it makes a lot of sense.
this is the one
Uh,
that I like as a road favorite.
yeah, I'm also wondering if we can find a 5.5 anywhere. I feel like we
I don't
probably
think
could. Oh, there's a
I
FanDuel 5.5, Geoff.
okay. Well, let's say 5.5. Then I actually think that this number will be better on kickoff than it is today on Friday.
Wow.
That's my take. But again, I mean, 5.5 is better than 6, obviously. Between 5.5 and like 4, it's really not that valuable, right?
We'll
So,
take it, dude. I'll take the
well,
half a
no,
point. We need everything we can get.
I'll take a half a point there as well. All right, Matt. Geoff Schwartz is smarter than you. It's sponsored by our friends at Greg Morris Cards. We talked about them earlier. Put that QR code back on the screen. There you go, guys.
Yeah.
Scan that QR code. Everyone's looking for a few extra bucks around the holidays. But what if you were sitting on money you didn't even know about? My friends at Greg Morris Cards are leaders in vintage sports cards. It can help you turn the sports cards collecting dust into real money that you have at your house. Matt, you have some sports cards. You touched Greg Morris Cards. What did you learn from them?
Yeah, it's funny. I hoped I had had some time to find some more before we tape today, but I have a couple of cards from like the Dream Team in the 90s, like the 96 Dream Team, like those collectible cards. And I looked some of them up and they seem to be kind of worth something. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a guess of what I think they're worth. And then shoot them over to Greg Morris. And they basically said, their thing that they're really good at is they can get the most for what you've got. So if you've got something and you just want to part with it, maybe you inherited it, maybe you got it as a gift, maybe it's a team you don't care about anymore, or something like that. Or, it's the holidays. We all got to find a little extra buck, a few extra bucks somewhere. Scan this QR code. I think they're going to be able to find you a deal that you probably couldn't get anywhere else.
I was curious if you had like any like old Washington Wizards cards when you were a kid. Any old
Definitely.
any Orioles and some Cal Ripken Jr. card laying around or something?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd ever part with those. Cal Ripken,
No?
Cal Ripken is like he's like in this very tucked away corner of my heart as like the first true athlete I ever loved. But I definitely do. I mean, I don't. It sounds like you weren't into that. Maybe because you were actually like you had promise as a real athlete. But at the time, I have tons, man. I have tons at my mom's house in Delaware that I hope to get at some point and see if there's anything valuable in there because that's how it works with investing. You forget about
Yes.
something, and you look up one day, and you're like, wow, this is actually worth some money. So sports cards are no different.
Well, if you do find those cards, go to Greg Morris Cards, contact them, ask them what they are worth to help you earn the most for your cards, turn your card collection to real money, scan the QR code on the screen or visit Greg Morris Cards. We love having them aboard for the holiday season. Thank you again to them. They brought us some luck last week and we went 3-2 there. We went Camden Yards. I've been there one time, well, a couple of times. One time we bought tickets for a game from a guy in a wheelchair in a back alley behind in Baltimore, which this is like 94, 95. I'm not sure that's like the best way to do it. My uncle lived in Ashburn and we drove down, went to an
Ashford,
Orioles
man.
game. And then the Savannah Bananas are coming to Baltimore. I think we got tickets for that. So we're going
Oh,
to see Savannah
cool.
Bananas in Baltimore at some point. I think it's this summer at some point. So head back up to Baltimore to see that.
It's a
All
great
right, let's
stadium.
it's fantastic. Again, I've been there. I'm not kidding. Back alley, guy in a wheelchair. We bought 2 tickets from.
That's
Um,
Baltimore, baby.
yeah, let's okay. Next game up, buddy. Let's do it.
All right, we're into the late window on Sunday. The
Already. Wow.
Broncos are at the Raiders.
Nope.
Okay, time saver there.
Nope.
Broncos are 6-point favorites.
No. I mean the
You
Raiders
could
is the
take
play.
the
I'm just
Raiders.
I'm not doing it. No,
Yeah,
no
we can't do
chance.
it. Yeah, the Pro Next train is
God, we're not
riding a
gonna
little too
get we're
high.
not gonna get 5, are we?
Yeah, no, we are. There's still
Okay.
there's actually the three I like are still coming,
Oh, okay.
including one of them right here. The 49ers are 3-point dogs at Green Bay.
Oh, who do you like? Go ahead.
I like the Niners, dude. I think this is did you know this is the first regular season game of Brock Purdy's career where he's not the favorite?
Brock Purdy's a little hurt right now, though.
But that is the craziest stat I've ever heard, no? Like
Yeah, I know.
I mean that's just an unbelievable stat. Um I think that the 49ers, I think they're such a top-heavy team. It's a reason that I always feel like I fade them in the preseason. But first of all, they really need this one to keep up with Arizona. And like they basically have no shot at the wild card unless they win this game. But either way, they need to keep pace in their own division. Uh, I think the 49ers come down to Kittle and Bosa in a lot of ways because Bosa obviously like, doesn't take a genius to figure out what he does on the defense. But Kittle, like, I just feel like their running game is really different without him. I feel like their receiving game is really different without him. I think their overall toughness is really different without him. And he was out last week. He said he's playing this week. Bosa is still TBD as of the time we're recording this. I think they're a tough matchup for Green Bay, who has had some really strange games this year. That win last week. If they had lost last week, I think the Niners would be favored here. But they didn't because of a block kick and the various experiences of the Matt Eberflus extravaganza. So it worries me a bit that everybody seems to be with me and all of the bets and all of the money are on the Niners. But I kind of like him here. I like Shanahan as a dog traditionally. I like them
Yeah.
against this team that in the regular season, at least, I think Shanahan is either 3-1 or 3-0 against them in the regular season. No, it's 3-0, 3-0 in the playoffs, actually. I have that
Yeah.
flipped.
Playoffs.
One
Yeah.
and three in
Yeah.
the regular season.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. I think this is a good spot for the Niners in a really critical game for them.
What about Purdy being hurt? Does that worry you?
I honestly, if he has to do less, and if they're able to run the ball, that helps.
Okay.
Um, but I don't know.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you went here. Okay.
Jordan Love four
The
and seven
Packers
is a
have
favorite.
the Packers, by the way, have sort of been living on the edge, right? Their last three wins have been, um, a field goal to beat the Texans. Jacksonville made that furious comeback, if you remember, and then they
Yep.
kicked a game-winning field goal, and then the Bears just had a field goal block. Those are the last three wins for the Packers.
Yeah, they have had really fluky wins, and the Niners have had really fluky losses, like
Okay.
the Cardinals game where Jake Moody got hurt.
Yeah.
The couple other just that strange game where they gave up that comeback to Arizona. Um, I don't know. The only issue I think is that Purdy's injury and just like the
Yeah.
49ers are so up and down, but I think they can get it done here.
Okay. We'll put it down. I did not expect this to go in that direction, but we'll put it down. Okay.
All right. Well, if I talk you into it, that's usually not a great sign, but we'll see. Uh, NFC West rivals, Cardinals at Seahawks. Let's call this a pick. You can get
Yeah.
plus one on either side. Um, which way are you leaning here?
I like Seattle on this one, Matt.
Okay.
Arizona doesn't rush the passer. They don't hit the quarterback. And I think against Seattle, I think that's a really bad matchup for you, right? Geno Smith can throw the football. We know that. Their offensive line, I believe, is getting a little bit healthier, a little bit better. And that was a big win for them last. Like that, that's a confident boosting win against the Niners in the way they won that game. And Arizona, look, they've done a great job, Matt. They absolutely have. This game is outside though in the Pacific Northwest in November. Weather
Yep.
becomes a concern in a lot of these games. I don't think it's supposed to be wet and rainy, but it wouldn't surprise me if it did rain because it rains every day in the Pacific Northwest between now and the end of March. I live there. I know what it's like there. And the thing about Arizona, again, I go back to this, like defensively. What are they defensively? Uh, I don't know. Offensively, it's sort of like just like they have a fun run game. Kyler Murray, I think, is incredible. There's some really fun things. But that win for Seattle last weekend was big for confidence, man. So I'm okay with Seattle here, just on a pick 'em. I like this play.
Yeah, I mean, Kyler oddly, in his so he's covered three straight games against the NFC West, but before that the Cardinals were 1-13 against the
Yeah,
spread in their previous 14, which is crazy. He's had more success against the Niners than he has the Seahawks and Rams. 4-2-1 against the Niners, 5-12-1 against the Seahawks and Rams. All the trends dictate taking Seattle here. The Cardinals off of a bye have not been good with Kyler. He's 5-9 against the spread with extended rest. He's 1-4 straight up on a bye after a bye. So all those reasons tell you like, hey, probably take Seattle. I mean, I think these two teams see every week there's a team where everyone's like, sure, yeah, like I guess they're good now. Like I feel like that team is Arizona right now, where everyone's just sort of talked themselves into them winning the division. They're the favorite to do so. They're not a great team. They've put some nice wins together. I think they're a pleasant surprise, but I think they're about even. And you're basically saying that the Cardinals are 2 or 2.5 points better. So let's put Seattle in. I like that one. And we
yeah.
can get plus one.
Plus one. Let's take it. Okay,
Yeah,
Seattle plus one. Oh, I got it right here. I wrote it down. Seattle plus one.
done. Two more games. Sunday night football here in Los Angeles. The Rams are 2.5 or 3-point dogs to the Eagles. I mean, what do you do with this?
Um, so a lot of smart people I know are on the Eagles this weekend.
Yeah,
And I, oh, jeez, I, I don't like it.
I know.
Um, I don't like it at all. It'll be Eagles home game, certainly. Um, I kind of want nothing to do with this game. I'm not going to lie. I don't want the Rams. Okay, let's talk this through though. Why are people on the Eagles in this game -3? What's the, because they look good. I mean, they've looked better, obviously. They run the football really well. Their defense, I mean, they're playing good football. It wouldn't surprise me if they ended up, in the NFC Championship game. Like they're playing good football, obviously. But I feel like people are dismissing the Rams a little bit. Like the Rams have a lot to play for still. They're still in the NFC West. They went to New England in a sort of a spot where traditionally you don't sort of win and cover, and they won and covered in that game. They've won 4 or 5. I don't. I'm surprised people are so heavy in the Eagles.
I mean, the Eagles are really good. Like they're
I
just a
know.
really tough team, and when they're rolling, they are unstoppable. When you figure out a way to slow them down, they seem to self-combust. But they're like those Ravens teams in years past, where it's like if they're up by 10, you have no chance. Like they're
Correct.
one of those teams where it's like if the snowball's going downhill, you are absolutely cooked. Um, I think people like this because they have a little extra rest. I think people are still a little bit skeptical of the Rams because they have such like a young defense. And the Eagles have all these huge names. The Eagles are 8-2. Like they're a damn good team. Like they're they've beaten the hell out of some really good teams. So I don't know. I think I would be on the Rams too at +3 if we can find that, which I
Yeah,
think we can.
I'm sure we can.
Um,
Yeah,
but I don't love it, and there's something about it that just feels a little bit shaky to me.
yeah, I'm with you.
All right. All right. So we're gonna pass on that one, I think. We
The,
have one, two,
the,
three,
the,
four, five, six, seven that we like.
yeah, the question is about this last game because oh, jeez.
Yep. Well, this is a good one to debate. It's Sunday night football, or Monday night football, excuse me, also in Los Angeles. The Chargers hosting the Ravens. The Chargers are plus
Yeah.
3 at home.
By the way, so do you know? I think I'm fairly certain they basically just like scrub the turf and repaint it instead of just
Huh.
putting new turf in.
I
I
don't know
think
that. That's
like
crazy.
would they just? I think I'll just put new turf in the end zones and all the logos. I don't think they do that. Um, I mean, it's Chargers or nothing, right?
No chance. No chance. Baltimore is so much better than this team, dude. The Chargers are
Yeah,
such
but
frauds.
Baltimore doesn't play that way though all the time.
Baltimore is a team that can win the Super Bowl. The Chargers are a team that will lose in the first round of the playoffs. There is a massive this Chargers team, people are giving them a lot of credit for trying their best to lose a game to the Bengals.
I
The
know.
Chargers have 7 wins. Guess how many total wins those teams have
Oh,
combined?
it's like 12.
They have 24. So in those 7 games, they're averaging 3 point whatever. Let's call it three and a third wins each. Uh, the Ravens have beaten some really good teams, right? They beat Buffalo, they beat Washington, they beat that Cincinnati team twice. That the Chargers, that was their best win of the season, probably. I just don't think that these two teams are equal. And I think Baltimore, there is no home field here. There is, Baltimore, I think, has a lot more to prove in this than the Chargers, who've been coasting with, this weird win last week. I think it's just a buy low on Baltimore and a sell high on the Chargers. Like I do not think these two teams are equal at all. So I'm fine with the Ravens here, but it sounds like you're probably not with me.
Oh, I mean, okay, I didn't really consider that. Ravens. Okay. Oh, geez, laying 3 in this spot. I feel like Monday Night Football. I do not want to wait for Monday Night Football.
2.5 we
Um.
can find DraftKings
Okay.
and a
So,
few others.
all right. So, I think the Indy's a yes, +7.5. Tampa Bay is a yes, -5.5. I feel
Yep.
like, and you love the Niners +3, correct?
I like the Niners and I like Seattle. I
In
think we can say
Seattle.
that that's good.
Okay, so that's 4. So Chicago +3.5. Tennessee +8.5. We're taking Miami off, right? -7.
Miami's cooked. Yeah. And I think if you're not with me on Baltimore, let's take them out
Baltimore's
too.
cooked.
So it's
Oh,
either
oh
Chicago or
Lord.
Tennessee.
I mean,
Ugh.
Chicago's better than Tennessee, right? I mean, they're at home.
Well, everyone's better than Tennessee.
The Tennessee case is just that like there's some variance bounce back, right? For them.
Yeah, and the
Is that basically
Texans
what it
just
is?
aren't a team that can blow anyone out. Um, this opened at 6. It's huh,
Hmm. Let me look here. I mean, no one's going to be in Tennessee this weekend, are they?
only the pros, which we love. And there's only 1 8.5 left at MGM. Uh,
Oh man,
this one by game time will be 7.5, I bet.
probably. So what? So we yeah, so we can get eight, we can get 8.5. You think? Or we can? I mean, you
I'm
said
looking at one. Yeah, I'm looking at it. I
you
think we
feel.
take that.
I feel like you feel more comfortable in that than the Bears.
They both suck, dude. Like we're gonna be watching both games and wish we
Not
didn't
me.
have to bet
I'll
on
be
it.
at the Panthers game, so I won't have to
Yeah,
watch any of this
that's
shit.
right.
I'm not planning on watching like anything on my phone either.
No, just go watch
I'm just
football.
gonna just I'll get text messages from you just during this time. We'll figure it out. Texans off a win against the Cowboys. They lost the Jets and the Lions the last 2 weeks. Colts game was a 3-point win. Packers game was a 2-point loss. They haven't played well in a month.
No, I mean Nico's back, but like he hasn't. I don't know. It's basically they're just gonna pound the ball with Mixon, and Tennessee has a decent defensive front. Like
All
I don't
right.
know. They're 1-9. Like they can't keep going. They can't keep
You're
losing
right.
against the spread.
You're right. And they're
I
two.
don't know. I mean, I'm probably not right. We just don't want to do it. Do we want to lay it with Caleb against Brian Flores or
No,
fade the
no.
Texans?
Play the Texans probably. So Indy
Yeah, let's
plus
take the
seven and a half,
Texans.
Tampa minus 5.5, San Francisco plus 3, Seattle plus 1, Titans plus 8.5. Oh my God.
This is an interesting week.
We're either going 0-5 or 5-0. Those are two options.
I don't love our chances then.
No, it's gonna be like it is every weekend. 3-2 or 2-3.
Yeah, that's where we live.
24, 30, and 1, by the way. So we
Eesh.
got we're digging, well, we were 28 and 21 before last weekend. 21 and 28. So we're digging our way out, buddy. All right. Well, my college picks are 58%. So if you want to tune in, those are on my social media. If you want to do at Geoff Schwartz. Um, all right, buddy. Indy plus 7.5, Tampa minus 5.5, SF plus 3, Seattle plus 1, Tennessee plus 8.5. Those are our picks. Hope you enjoyed the show, everyone. Go to Greg Morris Cards. They're fantastic. Go check out their website and see what they can get you for any of the cards you have around your house. Matt, hope you feel better, buddy.
Thanks, pal.
Being sick with kids around isn't great, but hope you get better soon. And we'll talk to you guys next week. We have to talk about this. I think we're doing a show Friday. Maybe I have nothing to do. Maybe we'll do a show. I don't know. We'll tweet out our picks. Have a good Thanksgiving, everyone. Hope you enjoy it with your friends and family watching Cowboys Giants, Matt. Thanksgiving Day. Can't beat
Eesh.
it.
DeVito and Cooper Rush.
Oh
Maybe
yeah.
Daniel Jones. We'll
Maybe
see.
Daniel Jones. All right, guys. Take care, everyone.
See
Have a
you,
good
Jeff.
week.